Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about the best releases and the most disappointing releases that I have received when it comes to vinyl so far this year. It's hard to believe that we're already halfway through the year. There's been some incredible releases and I'm going to share with you some of them that I have picked up that I think are fantastic, as well as a couple of disappointments. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, the notification bell, all the YouTubey things that helps my channel to grow. And let's go ahead and get started because there's so much to cover. First off, I just want to say that I haven't bought everything. So these are just records that I have added to my collection that I think are standouts. You're probably going to disagree on some of them, and that's okay. So I really want you to also feel free to put in the comments the records you think stand out to you, your favorites that you've bought so far this year. So, and also, it's just my opinion. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one, the inspiration for this video. I bought this having really no expectations at all, just wanting that piece of a time capsule in my collection because it's such a special time for me. And this is such a great band that most people love. And I'm talking about Journey. And this album is live in Houston, 1981, the Escape Tour. I really think for a live album, this sounds very good. This is the band when they were on that meteoric rise to the top. They were already really popular, but the album Escape was just on another level for them. And they were so fantastic. Steve Perry's vocals were so strong. He really sang some hard to sing songs. And this was 1981, back in the day when you couldn't get a lot of backing help. Technology wasn't what it is now that helps some of these older bands. He had to have those vocals, and he did. Neil Schon is fantastic on here too with his guitar playing. Just a fantastic live album. Incredible set list. I really love Open Arms. It's a great version of it. The song Mother Father on here is so fantastic. It's unbelievable. Who's Crying Now? Of course, Don't Stop Believin' is on here. Stone in Love, another one of my favorites. Will the Sky, it's really great. I wish Still They Ride would have been on here, but other than that, this is a really great live release. I bought the Target exclusive on red and white vinyl, and I'm just super happy with this one. So I wanted to share that one with you. And next up is one from the Prestige series from Analog Productions. It is one that I might have passed on because of the artist. Is usually known for being an avant-garde or free jazz kind of player. Thank you to Rob from The Wax, because I did briefly talk to him about this record. He said, no, you'll like this one. It's not out there. And that's funny that he said that because it's called Out There. Eric Dolphy. He was a magnificent recording artist that died way too soon. Wonderful alto saxophone, wonderful flute, wonderful clarinets. So talented on here. And it's not, it's fresh. It's interesting, it keeps you on your toes, and yet it's not that crazy avant-garde that some people love, but I personally have a hard time getting into. This one is so fantastic. Sounds killer. I believe this is a Kevin Gray mastering job, done very well. So I highly recommend Eric Dolphy's Out There. These Prestige albums have been selling out pretty quickly, so I don't know that this one's available anymore. I really hope they do repress it, keep putting it out there, because we need to have it in our hands. It's just a fantastic record. This next record is one from a band that everybody knows. They've been around forever. I can't say I'm a huge fan of theirs, but I'm a huge fan of their new release, and it is the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Unlimited Love. This is the Record Store Day version. Most album covers are very colorful. I kind of like this black with the silver metallic look to it. A fantastic sounding record. It was recorded very well, and this band's just very talented. They all can play their instruments very well. The vocals are great. And I really think a lot of songs on here are very catchy, very well written. My favorite on here is Here Ever After. That is a fantastic song. And 2 LPs. I got the silver vinyl version, and I think it's beautiful. It's a little noisy, but again, it is a great sounding record. Red Hot Chili Peppers, I really do dig this one. I think it was a great release, and I don't buy a lot of new music. I was very happy that I bought that one. Now I'm going to show you what is my favorite record store release. It's probably going to be my favorite of the year. I still don't have my The Gold Experience by Prince, but other than that, I have everything for Record Store Day, and this one is my favorite. Bill Evans' Inner Spirit. This was from Renaissance Records. Very well done. I don't believe this had ever been put on vinyl before. It was a recorded concert, and Bernie Grundman cut this one. Sounds fantastic. The music is so wonderful on here, and I just love it. I love the packaging too. I really do think they do a great job with the beautiful gatefold. I'm sorry for the glare. That's just the way these vinyl sleeves, they do produce a glare, but they're beautiful vinyl sleeves. I get these vinyl sleeves from Vinyl Storage Solutions. Mine are the 3 mil thick, and I like getting the ones that have the flaps, and I'm just super happy with them. That's the number one question I get on my channel is what outer sleeves I use, and that's the answer, Vinyl Storage Solutions. So while I'm talking about the wonderful Bill Evans release of Inner Spirit, I have to also show You Must Believe in Spring. This is a 45 RPM version by Craft Recording. It sounds fantastic. It's great music once again. Very pleased. It's just when I see You Must Believe in Spring, I kind of laugh a little bit because we are going through a major heat wave. It's supposed to be spring. And yet we are getting summer temperatures. Last week was 100 degrees. We're going to be close to that this week too. Really insane. I love taking care of my flowers, and my flowers are just not enjoying this hot weather at all. But anyway, a wonderful release by Bill Evans, and I highly recommend it. This next one is one we all know and love. It's a very popular album. To be honest with you though, I had never listened to it until this year with this release. I've seen so many of you show it on your channels. So many people recommend it. And yet I just never had it because it's a hard to find record. When you do see it, it costs a lot of money. But there was a reissue that came out this year. It's an Abbey Road half-speed master version. Even when I say that, I know that's controversial because not everybody likes those releases. I happen to think this one is good. I have nothing to compare it to, but anyway, this is the Velvet Underground and Nico. You all know this album. It's really, really good. I think this sounds good. I have nothing to compare it to, like I said. I just don't think it was probably recorded very well to begin with, so there's not a lot of work to work with. But I think for the money, this is a great one to have. It beats not having one. You could spend $400 on a first pressing if it still has its banana peel on it. That would get very costly. I'm going to stick with this. I'm happy with it, and I love having that in the collection now. I feel like it kind of opened up doors to new music for me. I know it's not new music. It's new to my ears, so I really love having that one. Next up is a record that I had on pre-order for an extremely long time, and I really enjoy it. It is Miles Davis, Feels Kilimanjaro. Feels de Kilimanjaro. This is a 45 RPM mobile fidelity original master recording version of this record, and I really wanted to have it. I've been so pleased with the mobile fidelity Miles Davis releases, and this is right in an era that I really like, kind of the sweet spot. He's still kind of doing the standard, but he's kind of going into a little bit of an electric era, and I just think it sounds phenomenal. It's interesting. The music is great to my ears, and I've just been really happy that I was able to get this one. So this is a wonderful release that came out this year. Here's another one, and this is from the Acoustic Sounds series. This is on the Impulse label. And it's a wonderful release, and it sounds fantastic. They all do. This to me is just an absolute standout in sound quality. John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. And I wasn't sure I was going to like this one. I've been buying all of them with the exception of Nina Simone. I've been buying all of these albums and I've been pretty pleased with all of them. This one just took it another notch for me. I think Johnny Hartman, even though I'm not usually a jazz vocalist lover, I like Johnny Hartman. He sings fantastic. And this is just an incredible sounding record. So I don't have the Nina Simone ones, to be honest with you. Her style is not my favorite. I know I am offending a lot of fans out there, and I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. But I do love this. It's very smooth. It's very beautiful. I mean, it's just sound quality is just off the charts on that one. So I love that one. That is the Acoustic Sound Series version of John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. This next one is a controversial one because so many people who made vinyl videos didn't like it. I like it. I really do. And I've listened to it enough times now that I could put my foot down and say, yes, I agree with what I said from the very beginning. This is a great release. This is the Miles Davis Quintet. This is Relaxin', and this is the Craft Recordings small batch version of it. I really like it, and yes, it's a little on the bright side. I think it just hits that right mark. It's not too bright, but it's energetic. It's just a really good, punchy record. And you wouldn't expect that with a title like Relaxin', and it does have its relaxin' moments, but for the most part, it's just a really punchy, really great listen. So I'm really happy with it. I'm also really happy that Craft Recordings actually pressed more so that more people could get their hands on it. I think just about everybody that wanted it got it, unlike the first two small batch releases that they put out. So I think this one was very good, and I know not everybody agrees with that. I believe Bernie Grundman, this is a mastering job from Bernie Grundman. I think he did a fantastic job on it. So that's another one that I've been really happy with. Now I'm going to talk about a couple that I found to be very disappointing. And then I'm going to show you what I think is the best sounding, best release of the year so far, the one that makes me the happiest. Let's go ahead and talk about the disappointing ones first though. And I'm going to get a lot of grief for this because there's a lot of fans. He has a huge fan base. And I'm not saying this record is bad. It's just not as good as what I had hoped. So I will just say, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And I'm talking about Harry Styles' Harry's House. And I get it. I'm an old lady. He's not making these records to make me happy. But he made me very happy with his first solo release. He came out of a band called One Direction that I knew because my daughter was probably about a teenager when their music was out. So I knew their hits. Didn't really get into them. But then when he stepped out as a solo artist, he appeared on Saturday Night Live and a Victoria's Secret runway show that they used to have at Christmas time. And I really liked what he was singing. I loved the debut album, so I bought it. And it is one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. A strong statement coming from an old lady like me that isn't really open to a lot of new music. Okay, so I guess what's different about this and what I don't really care for is with the first album, his self-titled debut that I love so much, there were a lot of really intelligent, beautiful ballads on there, as well as rock and roll rockers. After that album, his second album, Fine Line, kind of got away from that and got into a little more pop music. So, and I don't have anything against pop. I actually like his second album. It's just, I like the ballads and the rock and roll better. With this one, he's even in more of a pop lane. And I just don't think the songs are as strong as especially the first album or even the second album. Okay, the music for a sushi restaurant, it's a catchy start. I like the song Late Night Talking, The third song's called Grape Juice, and if you're familiar with his album Fine Line, it's like, enough with the fruit. He sings about fruit a lot, so you know, that one. His single that's been playing on the radio, As It Was, is good, but it's not fantastic. I don't think it's one of his strongest singles. The best song for me is Sign of the Times. That is his best single, the best song he's ever sung. I absolutely love it. That to me is the best. So it's not like it's a horrible album. I bought this one. It's the Target exclusive on yellow vinyl. And the vinyl's really pretty. Again, I am not saying this is a bad record. It is not, and I'm sure it makes a lot of people happy. I know my friend Marikan Craddock loves it. I think it's her favorite album of the year. So, you know, just take my opinion with a grain of salt and decide for yourself. Give it a listen. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about that was a huge disappointment was Adele 30. I don't have the record, but let me tell you and kind of explain why I don't have it. I saw a special that she made towards the end of the year to help launch her new album. You know, that one that slowed every other record on the pressing plant so they could get like a gazillion copies of her record out. Remember that one? Okay, well, I was so impressed with this special they had on TV. It was her in a concert, had a gorgeous setting in California, and in between songs she was having an interview with Oprah. But man, that concert, it just blew me away. She sounded so good. Her hits are so great. And I was just so into that show that I just made a mental note. Man, when that record comes out, I am buying it. Because I just thought, I'm going to love this album because I'm enjoying so much of what she's doing here. And I streamed it first. And I didn't like it at all. The new album. I love a lot of her older hits, and maybe someday there will be a greatest hits compilation on vinyl, and if that comes out, I will buy that. But I just did not get into this new album, Adele 30. I don't know if it's selling well or not. I don't know how popular it is. I've never read any of the reviews. It just did nothing for me, so I didn't buy it. I see it everywhere I go. I don't know if it's hard to get or not. Where I live, it's everywhere. So it kind of makes me think, okay, they either made just so many and it's so plentiful, and if it's still selling well, you can have that. Or they made too many and people aren't liking it as much as we thought we would. So I don't really know. I just know that one was a pretty big disappointment for me. So I've talked about the disappointments and I've talked to you about my favorite releases. Let's talk about what for me is my favorite release of the year. So, drum roll? Should I do a drum roll? Okay, let's do it. Okay, cool. My favorite release of the year is the UHQR of Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? I think this is such a classic album. Of course, it's not new music by any means, but this is a beautiful new way of listening to it. And I really am very, very happy. I think Analog Productions just hit a home run with this one. Beautiful packaging, the gorgeous sounding record. It really shines. This is the best it's ever sounded, and they did Jimi Hendrix right with this one. So I showed this and I did a review on my channel. The first copy I got, the box had a little chunk taken out of it. Sent a picture to them and asked for a replacement. I got one, no questions asked. Their customer service there at Acoustic Sounds is fantastic. So this one is a wonderful release for me, and it is my favorite so far. Having said that, I am really hoping for a Van Halen One Step this year. It better come. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I'm also really looking forward to Miles Davis, maybe Bitches Brew or Sketches of Spain will come out on One Step. And who knows, there's going to be so many surprises. The Michael Jackson Thriller One Step, I'm looking forward to that too. So half the year's done. We've got the rest of the year to look forward to. So many great things. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Add to these titles. What's your favorite you've gotten so far? Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.